Today we're going to be replacing a couple buttons on the textiles of a stock winter kit, but the process is exactly the same anytime you're replacing buttons on Stroller Textiles or other sorts of textiles for that matter. And I have this generic button replacement kit. Here in Norway we bought this at Claes Olsson, but a lot of like smaller hardware stores or craft stores will probably have this. And the contents may look a little bit different. What you'll always have are the button bits. In this case, for the tools, it'll virtually always come with this tool in one form or another. And this is just like a long cylinder with this little cleverly formed head here. And the idea of this is that when you are replacing the button, I'll show you, but this little pyramid in the middle with a dip around it will fit right into the top of these button pieces because you're going to want to hammer this down and it will spread out and hold in. So in this case I'll show you the different types of things we have. This is the button that you would push on, and you would either combine this with the male element or the female element depending on what you need to replace on your textiles. When you're replacing these, the textile, this goes through the textile, this goes on the other side, and then you'll bang it down. If you're using the male element, it would be like this, and then you would bang it down with the textiles, of course, in between. In addition to the press button head, you have these sorts of backs, and this would be where you wouldn't be pushing on this side, but this would be like the receiving end of the button. So I'm going to show you now how to do this. We have, as I said, two buttons that need to be replaced. We're going to do one on the canopy, and that is right here. And I'm just going to look at the other side. You can see that it is the female element. So in order to replace this, I need then this head and this other end. And we're going to put the head through, and then the other end here. Now this kit came with a small flat metal washer and this nifty little plastic thing. So you always want something very flat under, preferably metal, because when you start banging the tool into the button is made of very thin material and it will start to deform. So you want at least something flat, and if your kit comes with something like this, it's kind of nice because the button fits right inside it. Like this, which will help it to hold its form. One moment. There it is. You just want to hold all of that together like that, and then you're going to put this tool like this, and you're just going to hammer it. Let's see, not quite enough. You'll know it's enough when it is tight underneath. Still not enough. There, starting to get a bit tight. I would say that that's enough. And now you have the button in on both sides. Okay, we're going to have a look at the other part that needs to be fixed. So it has to do with this flap at the top of the storm cover, and this is the opposite side of the button. This button has actually popped out of the fabric. It's located here, and it's still connected to the other one. And so you just need to remove the rest of this button. You can use a flathead screwdriver, butter knife, something flat. See? Came right off. And you can see that in this case, it's the male element that is missing. And because it attaches this way, it needs to go through from the back. So we then need another button head and the male element. This is the one that I put together to show you earlier. And we're going to slot this through like this, and then this piece on top. Set up our little base as we did before, and put the button inside it, and start banging away again. There we go. So that's done. There is a third sort of button that you tend to find on strollers, and that's the buttons on the chassis. These are usually attached. These are almost always the male side of the button, as far as I've seen, and they're either attached with a screw that goes through, which is a little bit harder to find to replace. But if you have trouble with the buttons on your chassis, you can actually use a rivet gun and a small rivet to hold it in place, and we'll show that in a future video. In any case, we hope this video has been helpful. If it has been, we ask you subscribe, as it helps us continue making videos in the future. Thank you.